Hey everyone, Emerge here, and today I want to talk about Diablo 4's much anticipated Season 1, the Season of the Malignant, starting on July 20th at 10 a.m. PST time. At the time of this recording, we have roughly 10 days left, 19 hours, and yeah, I just want to kind of go over some of the seasonal features, some of my personal suggestions that I think you should do before the season begins. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Malignant Hearts are the new core system that's coming in Season 1, and they kind of remind me a little bit of Diablo 3's Legendary Gems, and they also kind of remind me a little bit of PoE's Colored Sockets. The devs confirmed in the dev update that there would be 3 different color combinations, but 4 different Malignant Hearts, and basically there's one of the Malignant Hearts that can be fit into any of the socket colors. This is kind of an example of one of the powers that's going to be. I think that it's going to allow for a lot of different kind of diverse builds. Pretty excited about that. And I think they said there was like going to be like 32 of them total. But yeah, this is pretty much the core mechanic that they have in the game right now. In order to get a Malignant Heart, the devs basically said that any monster out in the wild has a chance to spawn with a malignancy, and then you would use something called the Cage of Binding on them to spawn like a more difficult version of them. They will buff the monsters around them, and killing all of those monsters and everything will actually drop the Malignant Heart. If you fight more difficult content, you have a chance to get a better version of the Malignant Heart. So it seems like there's a lot of focus around obviously fighting more difficult monsters with malignancy later on. That doesn't necessarily negate the fact that you had earlier Malignant Hearts that you had, because they said that you can pretty much salvage those ones and turn them into something that you can create invokers with, and then you can use the invokers to kind of go through something called Malignant Tunnels, and Malignant Tunnels will allow you to basically kind of target farm a little bit. That's what I got out of it. There does appear to be a new boss in the game called Varshan the Consumed. It doesn't look like this is going to be any sort of pinnacle boss or anything like that like Lilith, but it's pretty exciting to know at least they've included new boss content. There will be 6 new unique items to discover and 7 new legendary aspects. Pretty excited to find out what those are. I'm pretty sure they'll allow for other kinds of diverse builds. In terms of rewards, lots of rewards in the seasons, in the seasonal journey, seasonal titles, new clothing, new transmogs, and then with the battle pass at the end. I'm still kind of curious how this is all going to work out. They say there's not going to be any bought power and that everything will remain cosmetic. I'm hoping they will stay true to their word. It seems to be the case. Yeah, that's pretty much the seasonal content, and let's just get into some of the suggestions that I have before season begins. Alright, so in addition to completing the campaign preseason, you're going to want to focus your energy on completing all the Altars of Lilith and pretty much uncovering your entire map, because this information is basically going to transfer over from the Eternal Realm into the seasonal content. The dev said basically after the 18th that you can log in and pretty much propagate all this information for the seasonal content. So the Renown we're pretty much going to have is going to fill up the first 2 tabs, so you'll have a skill point, you'll have your potion capacity, and you'll be a little bit into the 3rd Renown tab for each area. Now there's a trick, there's a catch to this, and that catch basically is for hardcore characters. Quinn had posted a message that said basically what happens if your character had died, and the devs hit back saying basically your stats would transfer over, but that the renown that you've acquired would not transfer over if you were not able to log in with that character. So that was a huge blow for hardcore characters. I'm planning to play hardcore myself, and I think that it would be great if they fix this, because I feel very bad for a lot of hardcore players that did die. They're having to go back and farm the Altars of Lilith, so just so the renown would transfer over. But yeah, so that's what you got to do. You got to focus on the Altars of Lilith, and you got to focus on your map. That's the core things. So some of the other things you can do before season begins is, depending on how hardcore you are, you can log in on the 18th and test out some of the balance and patch changes. You can also decide what build you're going to roll within the season, what class you're going to play. You can use d4builds.gg to kind of plan everything out. You can watch other streamers, you can watch other content creators to kind of see what you want to do in the seasons. And also, the season releases at a weird time. It releases like 10 a.m. PST, so you might want to take off that day depending on how hard you're going to go, and you might also want to take off for Friday. But that's pretty much my suggestions. I'm super excited about this season. I think that that there's going to be a lot of different kind of build diversities, and I love to theory craft, so pretty excited about it all. And yeah, please like and subscribe to the video. I do stream on Twitch. It's twitch.tv emerge, and yeah, that's it. Take care.
I spend